Are you ready for the biggest book haul I've ever done on this channel? I hope you are, and I hope you have popcorn and a drink because this is gonna be a long one. Well, it might be, it might not be, you never know when you start off a video, so this could be very long or very short. It depends. There's like 30 plus books in this video. Yeah, I promise guys, I did not buy all these books at once. I mean, like, I totally could buy 30 books at once, but that's a lot of money to spend all at once. Like, I don't have that money. Nobody has that money except the very rich folks in this world. They could donate some of their money to me to get books. Actually, scratch that because I can't fit any more books on my bookshelf, so probably I should hold off on buying any more books anytime soon. Soon equals 2 weeks, let's be honest. Okay, so the first book I have in this book haul for you guys, you're gonna be like, Sasha, are you freaking joking me? You have like 5 copies of this book already. You don't need more, girl. But you know, I got another copy, so shoot me. Don't shoot me, actually. That would be kind of painful and mean. Don't be mean. And that book is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I got the hardcover edition of the blue cover of the book. I already have the 20th anniversary edition, which is beautiful. It's like right there. It's gorgeous. I have a good reason for buying this book. It's because I went to an event which I was moderating a panel at, and Diana Gabaldon was also at that event, so I'm like, gotta get my book signed by her. So I did get my book signed by her, and it was also really nice because the day before the event I was invited to this author party because I was a moderator at the event, and I got to talk to Diana. I told her about you guys, my YouTube channel, how I'm going to Scotland, how much I love her books, how much of a amazing and inspiring writer she is, and she was just so gracious, so sweet, just like so really down to earth, and I was just so like just starstruck by her. I did not fangirl in front of her though. I kept it so together. I was so professional. I was like so proud. I'm like, high five, Sasha. Does anybody else give themselves high fives if they think something's cool and nobody's around to give them one? I do, yeah. But yeah, so I got the hardcover edition and it's beautiful and it's very special. She actually personalized my book and she did not personalize anybody else's, so I felt kind of special. She's so nice. Oh my gosh, I'm like, Diana, you're awesome. Also, some of these books I'm not gonna be giving full out summaries on because there's just so many books in this book haul that it'll be a very long video if I give summaries to each and every one of these books. I'll give a few like plot points in them though, so that'll be your summary. Hopefully you'll be okay with that. Okay, so I've read this book before as well, but I wanted to get the hardcover edition because I have hardcovers of the rest of the series, but the first book. And the first book is a hardcover, but the original cover it had was not a good one. But they recently came out with the new cover as a hardcover edition, so I had to get that. I had to. So I got the hardcover edition of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This book is fantastic. It's like a mix between The Hunger Games, Game of Thrones, but it's a totally new book. It's so unique. It's like in its own element. It's just out of this world fantastic. I highly recommend the series. It has 3 books out so far. It's gonna be a 6-book series. It's fantastic. You'll love it. Just read it. Just read it. And then I also got A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas recently. I read this book about 2 to 3 months ago as an ARC, and I just had to get the hardcover because it is beautiful. Whoever does these book covers, they're a wizard. But yes, and I'm also seeing Sarah again next week, this week. It depends on when this video goes up, but I'm seeing her in Madison, Wisconsin. Sarah, I'm driving 2 hours for you because I want you to sign these babies. It'll be a party. I'll bring the chips. But guys, get Court of Thorn and Roses. So freaking good. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and it's oh my god. Next, I purchased An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Sabaa is such a nice person. Oh my gosh, I love her. So I got to hang out with her before signing, and she's just the sweetest person in the world. Sabaa, you are awesome. I hope we get to see each other very soon because you're just that cool. And she is just so much fun to talk to. She's so down to earth, and she writes a kick-ass book. I read this book about 2 months ago, and of course I had to get the hardcover because this book is beautiful. And she also has the coolest like signature in the world. It's awesome. It's like a mask, and it's beautiful. But this book is a high fantasy novel. It's about this girl and guy from 2 separate worlds, and they're kind of brought together through the course of events in this novel, and it's just so fantastic. It's so badass. It's about such great character development. I'm keeping it vague, but just check this book out. I highly recommend it. Then I also purchased The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. This book is about this like young queen and her rise, and it's supposed to be very good. Kind of slow world building, but you know, I'll be ready for it. I'm excited. I then got The Return by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book takes place after her Covenant series, which is about Greek mythology, badasses. It's very good. So I really enjoyed that series. It's a fun series, but this book is about one of the other characters in the other series, which is the Covenant series, and it's Seth, and it's about his story from the last book and like everything that's happened since the last book ended in the series. So, and it's also a new adult novel, so it's a little bit more sexy. So I'm really excited to be reading this book and seeing like how his life is going ever since the events in the Covenant series. So if you watched my April wrap-up video, I mentioned how I got Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and I love this book. So I also decided to pick up Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover because I read this book in like seriously 20 hours. hours at most, and I went to school that day and I read it then, and I read it when I got home and into the night, and it was such a great book. So I decided to pick up maybe someday as well, and I'm really excited to be reading this book. Her books are new adult, but kind of not. It's like the new adult novel, but it has such depth to them, and now I know why people rave about her books, because they're just like so well thought out and so fantastic. And this one's becoming a movie, so woo! And the guy in the movie is like, oh, so hot, I'm just saying. I mean, I bet he's very smart and kind and a great guy too, but he's hot. I also got Eve of Darkness by Sylvia Day. It's a kind of new adult, maybe not, fantasy novel, and I'm pretty excited to read this. Like, I mean, I wanted to read kind of like a new adult novel that is a fantasy book, because I've only read new adult contemporary, so I decided to pick this up, and I'm excited to see how it's gonna go. It's like dark, gritty, and sexy to the max, RT Book Reviews said. And I'm excited to see how it's gonna go, because it's about demons and people kicking ass with demons. I then got A Beautiful Oblivion by Jamie McGuire, and she wrote Beautiful Disaster. It's another new adult novel, and this is like the events through the guy character's eyes. So I just got this because it was like on sale, half price. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it anytime soon, but I have it just in case. I then got Seraphina by Rachel Hartman. I've heard great things about this book. I heard that it was very highly anticipated when it came out. The second book just recently came out, and I'm excited to be reading it because it's about this girl and there's like something about dragons within it. It's a high fantasy novel. It seems very good. Really hoping it lives up to my expectations. My friend's currently reading it right now, so I'm gonna ask her how she liked it in the end, because I hope she did like it, because I want to get to reading it soon. I then got Earthbound by Perlin Pike. I totally bombed that name. I'm so sorry. But this book is about a girl who gets in a plane crash, and then she starts seeing visions about this guy, and is sort of choosing between two different guys and like figuring out what the heck is going on. I also recently got Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This book, all my friends have been talking about it. Pierce Brown, he's very attractive. Like, I like his face a lot. But that's not the reason why I bought this book. I bought it because it actually seems really interesting. So Red Rising is about a rebellion against the Golds. The Golds are people who are very rich and wealthy and are looking to escape Earth and go to Mars, where the Reds are currently setting it up to be habitable. And the Reds are treated like crap. Like, let me tell you, they're treated like crap. So it's about a rebellion amongst them, and it's supposed to be very good. I've heard great things about it, and I love sci-fi books, so I cannot wait to get to it. I'm actually like 30 pages in so far, but I had to put it down because it was kind of slow to start off, but I hear it gets very good, so I'm going to be picking it up once I'm done with Dragonfly and Amber. Next, I have Faking It by Cora Kamrak. I've heard great things about her books. I've read Losing It. Losing It was a great book. I actually finished this book 2 days ago, I believe, and I liked it. I did not love it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I love Losing It. Losing It, I gave like a 5 out of 5 stars. It was just such a fun read. But this book kind of like lagged a little bit, but I did purchase this book just last week, so. These next books that I have are from Random House, and there's some middle grade novels, and they are The League of Beastie Dreadfuls, Jack, and The Whisperer. Oh, that was throaty. The Whisperer. The next book I got from Penguin, and that was Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane. This book is about this guy who is training to be in the Great Library. The Great Library is kind of like the ruling system over this world, and they kind of like get to pick and choose what knowledge gets out there. And it's about really freedom to read whatever books you want, and it seems very interesting, so I'm definitely gonna be reading this very soon, because come on, libraries and books, a book about books. Yes! The next book I also received from Penguin, and that is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahid. This book is about this girl who goes and becomes the bride of this boy king who is presumed to have killed all his brides before, and he takes a new bride every day, and then she wakes up dead. And the reason that the girl, Saharzad, it's a very interesting name that she has, let me tell you. But the reason that she actually offers to become the new bride is because her friend fell victim to the king before. But it turns out not all rumors are true, and maybe the king that they thought was a monster actually wasn't. And there's like lots of understory, I bet, to this book, so I'm very, very curious as to what's gonna happen in this novel. I'll probably pick up this book over the summer. And now I have some books that you guys have given me over the past month from like my P.O. box, so thank you guys. One of the books is Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I've actually read this book before, but I do not have a copy of it, so this is great that I have it now. And then Sweep by Kate Tiernan. I know that Ben talks about this book all the time. It's about witches. Ugh. But thank you so much for Sasha A. Fax on Instagram for sending me these books. Okay, I'm so sorry I forgot your name, but this lovely girl came to the panel I was moderating, and she gave me this book called Deadly Little Secret, and it looks so beautiful. Like, the cover's gorgeous, and she said that she loved this book, and all of you guys said that you loved it as well. I think it's like a mystery, and it's very like dark but enchanting, and I'm really excited to be reading this book as well. The next book I have for you guys is Pretty Girl 13 by Liz Coley. This book sounds so good. I can't even like get it across to you. You guys need to read this book. I haven't read it yet, but I want you guys to read it with me just because it seems seems so good. It's about this girl and she was kidnapped, and it's about her piecing together her kidnapping and her abuse through like this mystery, and it sounds just so good. Actually the summary isn't very long. It really leaves a lot up to imagination and mystery, so I'm definitely going to be reading this book this month. I'm so excited because I've heard great things about it and it just seems awesome. Another book I'll be reading this month that I'm also reviewing the first book of is Bound by Spells by Stormy Smith. But Bound by Duty was an awesome book. It was kind of like a new adult book about this girl who needs to decide whether to go with her destiny or with her heart, and she belongs to this like secret society, and it's just so good that I cannot wait to read this book because it was epic, the last book, and I highly recommend you go read Bound by Duty first because oh my gosh, loved it. So I cannot wait to put out a review for you guys very soon. I also got Hunted by Abby Kettner and Missy Kalikicki. This book is the second book in the Branded series, but it's technically about a dystopian world where there's this system that's in place where you have like these brands on your necks if you do anything wrong for like all the 7 deadly sins, and the main girl in this book, she has the brand of lust. Even though she did not commit any lustful crimes, she's sentenced to the Hole, which is this place that all the criminals go to, or the criminals, because not everybody down there is a criminal. They just put them down there to show their authority over the people. And this book picks off right after the first book, which is Branded, leaves off, and I'm excited to be reading it. I also shall be reading another alien sci-fi book, which is the second book in a series, and that is The Clouded Sky by Megan Crew. The first book is Earth and Sky, and it is fantastic. If you love like the Lux series, The Fifth Wave, Broken Skies by Teresa Kay, you're gonna love this series. It's fantastic. The book covers are one of the most beautiful book covers I've seen this year so far. Like, that is freaking beautiful. Next, I got White Raven by J.L. Weil. This book is about a girl that's sent to an island after her father sends her brother and her there, and it's supposed to be about the mysteries on the island. It's about this like mysterious guy. Of course, there gotta be a guy in the books, but the guys in the books are always attractive. I have so many fictional boyfriends, guys. It's lovely. The next book I have is Destruction by Sharon Bayless. So this book is about this man who has a loving wife and kids and a great life, but he's also a dark wizard, and he also has a second family that went missing 11 years ago. But all of a sudden, his 2 missing children just reappeared, and it's about him like keeping his life together, also teaching his children how to be dark wizards, and I really like the sound of this book. So the next book I have is Fairy Keeper by Amy Bierce. This book is about a fairy keeper, and she does not want to be a fairy keeper because it has lots of responsibility to it and whatnot, but she can communicate with fairies, and I love the sound of this book because I love fairies. I love that like magical aspect to it, and it's about her having to take care of these fairies that she communicate with, but that is until the fairies she's in charge of all die, and then the queen fairy is missing. So it's about her putting everything back together from where it fell apart. Next, I have Game of Love by Ara Grigorian. So this book's about love, cancer, loss, sports, and it sounds very good. I'm giving really brief descriptions now because it's like this has been going for 20 minutes already. That's a lot of editing for me, but it seems very interesting, a very like lovely love story of like really healing each other and getting back on track with life even when the hardest situations are upon you. And then the next 3 books all belong in a series, and that is by A.W. Alexi, and the first book is Nefertiti's Heart. I'm really sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but this book sounds fantastic. It's like, this book is about a girl who lives in the 1800s in London, and her father is an artifact collector, and her adventures with all that stuff going on. Action, adventure, love. I'm very excited to be reading these books though because I have 3 of the books. There's a 4th book, but I forgot where I put it, so yeah, that happened. Sorry. I'm sorry. I lose books quite often. It's a problem. So these are all the books that I have for you guys today. I would hold them up, but there's just way too many of them. I'm okay with that. If you guys want to check out any of these books, I'll be linking them all down below, so go check them out once you're done viewing this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!